Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial, I'm going to give you my top 10 best questions to ask in a job interview. So at the end of your job interview, the hiring manager is definitely going to say to you, that's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for us? Now, the questions you ask could be the difference between a pass or a fail. So if you have a job interview coming up soon for any role or any company, make sure you stay tuned because I promise to help you be the standout candidate. Now, to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover during this tutorial. So I will explain why it is so important to ask the right questions in an interview. Number 2, I will tell you the exact number of questions you should always ask in an interview. Number 3, I will give you my top 10 recommended questions to ask in any job interview that are guaranteed to impress the hiring manager. All 10 of these questions are outstanding. And I will then give you a bonus section, a bonus tutorial, which is a brilliant example answer to the first interview question you will have to answer, which is, tell me about yourself. So there's 4 really good reasons why you should watch this presentation from start to finish. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's really important because literally thousands of you are passing your job interviews, and I can only help you if you are subscribed. And please give the video a like. I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. If you give the video a like, it tells me you find these tutorials useful and it motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. So let's get started. Why is it so important to ask the right questions in an interview? Okay, so at the end of your interview, they are going to say to you, that's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for us? Now, the majority of candidates reply with, no, I don't have any questions. You covered everything during the interview. That's a big mistake. Because if you don't ask any questions, it is a missed opportunity to show the interviewer that you care about their company. But if you ask the right questions, you can demonstrate you are going to be a loyal and committed employee. So it's really important to ask the right questions. But to begin with, which questions should you avoid asking in an interview? So never ask these questions. Number 1, do not ask questions about pay, time off, or holiday entitlement. So don't ask any questions about those 3 things. Number 2, do not ask any questions about anything negative you may have read or heard about their company. And number 3, do not ask the question, so what does the company do? That's a big red flag for employers. You should have carried out your own research and you should already know what the company does. So how many questions should you ask in your job interview? And I will then give you those 10 recommended brilliant questions you can ask in your job interview. Well, my advice is to ask 3 questions only. Don't ask any more than that. 3 questions. Remember, the interviewer still has other candidates they need to interview, and they also need to mark you once your interview is finished. So just ask 3 smart questions. So let me now give you my top 10 questions to ask in a job interview. So what I also want you to do is to write down 3 questions from the following list of 10 that you plan to ask in your job interview. Write them down on a piece of paper, and you can take that piece of paper into the interview with you. And at the end of the interview, they will say to you, do you have any questions for us? And you can take out your piece of paper and read the questions you want to ask. That's a good thing to do because it shows that you have planned ahead and you have considered carefully which questions you want to ask. Question number 1 to ask in an interview is, what's the one thing I can do in this role to help your company succeed? Now, this is such a great question to ask in an interview because you are trying to gauge what you can do to help them in the role before you even start working there. It's a brilliant question. So this question shows loyalty, commitment, and pre-planning skills. So the question again is, what's the one thing I can do in this role to help your company succeed? Question number 2, what's the culture like in the company? Now, culture is the behaviors and the values of the people in a company? Now, this is another great question to ask in your interview because it demonstrates you understand how important the working environment is to achieving success. So this question shows intelligence and knowledge. And the question again is, what's the culture like in the company? Question number 3. What are the plans for the business over the next 5 to 10 years? This is a really clever question to ask in an interview because it subtly tells the interviewer you plan to stay working for their company for a long period of time. So this question shows commitment and an interest in the future of the company or organization. So the question again is, what are the plans for the business over the next 5 to 10 years? Question number 4 of my top 10. What training would I receive once I started working here? Now, this is a great question to ask in an interview because it shows you are visualizing yourself in the role and you want to get the right training to do a brilliant job for them. So this question shows competence and organizational skills. So the question is, what training would I receive once I started working here? Question number 5. How has the company evolved over the years? Now, this is one of my favorite questions to ask in an interview because it allows the interviewer to briefly talk about something they are very passionate about, which is their company. How has the company evolved over the years? Now, this question shows an interest in the history and the development of their company. It's a brilliant one to ask. I would definitely be choosing that from my 3. So that would be one of my 3 questions. How has the company evolved over the years? Question number 6. What's the biggest challenge facing the company right now, and how can I help you overcome it? This is another great one. So this is a really powerful question to ask in an interview because you are showing you understand that all businesses and organizations face difficult challenges periodically. So you are demonstrating you don't want to just sit in the role and do the bare minimum. You actually want to help the company thrive. So this question shows initiative, a caring nature, and a proactive approach to your work. What's the biggest challenge facing the company right now, and how can I help you overcome it? It's a great question. Question 7. Will there be any opportunities in the future for training and progression within the company? This is another good one. So it's a great question to ask in an interview because it shows the interviewer you want to build a long-term career there and that you want to also grow in your role and be successful. So this question shows enthusiasm, drive, and commitment. And the question again is, will there be any opportunities in the future for training and progression within the company? It's a great one. Question 8. What can you tell me about the team I will be working in? So this is another really good question to ask in an interview because you are, again, visualizing yourself in the role and you want to find out about your future potential co-workers and their role in the team. So it's a great question to ask. And this question shows teamwork skills and pre-planning. So what can you tell me about the team I will be working in? Question number 9 to ask in an interview. What's the best thing about working for this company or organization? Now, this is such a clever question to ask because it is positive in nature. It puts you across as a positive person who wants to gain job satisfaction in the role. It also allows the interviewer to talk about the good things that go on in their company or organization. What's the best thing about working for this company or organization? It's a cracking question to ask in your interview. And question number 10 is a really good one. What are the next steps of the selection process? And when could I follow up with you to find out the result? Now, this is an easy question to ask, but it shows you are keen and enthusiastic, and it also gives you an idea of what will happen next during the process. Because most people leave their interview and they have no idea when they are going to hear the result. Lots of people contact me in the comments section below the videos and they say, Richard, it's been a week since my interview, what should I do? So this question negates that problem. What are the next steps of the selection process, and when could I follow up with you to find out the result? So don't forget to choose 3 questions from those 10, and write them down on a piece of paper and put them in your jacket or trouser pocket or your bag, and get them out at the end of the interview when they say that's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for us? So let's now work through my bonus section. This is really important. I'm going to teach you how to answer the first interview question, which is tell me about yourself. So right at the very beginning of your interview, they will say to you, tell me about yourself. Now, you already know which questions you are going to ask at the end of your interview, but how do you respond to the first question? I think your answer to the tell me about yourself interview question is crucial for two reasons. Number one, if you give a bad answer, it gives a bad first impression to the interviewer, and they are then less likely to hire you. The second reason why it's so important is because if you give a really good positive answer to the tell me about yourself interview question, it gives you confidence. It sets you up with confidence for the rest of your interview. So it's really important to have your answer already prepared. But how do you structure your answer? Let me tell you a brilliant format to remember when answering the interview question, tell me about yourself, and I will then give you a brilliant scripted response that's perfect for all job roles. So, when you start off in your interview, whether it's online or in person, you are going to be sat down on a seat, a chair. So remember, you will be sat down on a seat. So you're going to use this format to answer the question, tell me about yourself, SEAT. So S, you start off your answer by telling the interviewer about the skills and qualities you have that match the job description. So S is skills and qualities you have that match the job description. E, you then tell the interviewer about any relevant experience you have that's applicable to the position you have applied for. Now, if you have no previous work experience, talk about your educational qualifications. And if you want to, you can, with E, talk about both. You can tell the interviewer about your experience relevant to the role and also your educational qualifications. You then move on in your answer to tell me about yourself to A, which is telling the interviewer about one significant achievement you have gained in your life so far. And then you finish off with T. Tell the interviewer the type of person you are and what you are going to do in the role if they hire you. So just to recap before I give you that answer, to tell me about yourself. S is skills and qualities. E is experience and or educational qualifications. A is an achievement you have gained in your life so far. It can be in work or your personal life. And T is the type of person you are and what you will do in the role. So let me now give you a brilliant example answer, a scripted answer to that difficult first interview question. Tell me about yourself. Here we go with my sample answer. Tell me about yourself. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed for this role today. The skills and qualities I have that match the job description include my ability to learn things quickly and work at pace, my attention to detail skills, my resilience in difficult situations, and the fact that I am a supportive co-worker. I have experience working closely with other people to achieve time-sensitive tasks. I am a strong communicator who always provides exceptional service, and I can easily plan and organize my work to help my employer achieve their commercial objectives. I consider myself to be a high achiever. So for example, in my last role, I helped the company successfully launch a new product by suggesting ways they could promote it through social media. If you hire me in this position, I will be the type of employee who will embrace change positively. I will be flexible and adaptable and make myself available to work extra hours when the company needs me to, and I will always take responsibility for my ongoing professional development. That is a cracking answer to that first interview question. Tell me about yourself. And it uses that seat format, SEAT. Don't forget, you're going to be sat down in a seat. Remember that format. Skills and qualities, experience and or educational qualifications, an achievement you have gained, and the type of person you are and what you're going to do in the role. It's a brilliant response. Now, I'm sure you would like to download this answer and more brilliant responses to tough interview questions. And if that's the case, click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my top 35 answers to the 10 most common interview questions asked. It's a brilliant resource. You can have it in your inbox literally within 2 minutes from now, and it's guaranteed to put you ahead of the competition at your forthcoming interview. Also, don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I am here to help you. I will help you throughout your career, but I can only do that if you are subscribed. Subscribing means that you will be the first to know whenever I upload career progressing content. I will help you to pass any job interview, help you to get promoted, and help you to negotiate the pay that you deserve. And all I ask is that you give the video a like. Thank you so much for your support, and I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Have a brilliant day. Thank you very much.